Welcome to Empower Humanity, where you can find inspiration, education, and hope for humanity. My name is Aimmee Kodachian, not Kardashian. We are going to have an amazing segment where we're going to talk about how to secure your identity. And I have a great guest who can help us with that.
Welcome to the Empowering Humanity Show with Aimmee Kodachian, where you can find inspiration, education, healing, peace, and hope. Today's guest, Mack Jackson Jr., cybersecurity awareness consultant, TV host, author, and keynote speaker. And now, let's welcome Aimmee and her guest.
Welcome, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Aimmee?
Okay, it's nice to have you. I know you for many years now.
Absolutely.
And every time I learn something from you.
Yes.
But now, these days, we have really problems with identity theft. And,
yes.
And if anyone can teach us about that, it will be you. Definitely will be you. So what is new? What's going on? And how can we protect ourselves?
Yes, identity theft is very, very present now, especially during the holiday season. Hackers are very, very brazen, and they're trying to get your personal identifiable information. Mm-hmm. So I like to do, when I do my presentations, I'll ask the audience a simple question. How many of you on your smartphones right now have antivirus software set up on your smartphone? 1, 2, 3, great, great, very, very good. A lot of people do not have antivirus software on their smartphones. And your smartphone is nothing more than a mini-me of your laptop or desktop computer system, right? And so hackers are always looking for the low-hanging fruit, the easiest way to get your data, your information, because your personal information is worth money.
If you're protected, they're not going to take the time to hack you and do that because there's plenty out there, right? Plenty people, they don't have the idea like you need to protect yourself.
Mm-hmm. Right, a lot of people don't have that because they're not aware of it. Mm-hmm. And basically what we do is try to get people aware of what's going on with their personal information, not to give out too much information on social media, because a lot of people do that. They'll take selfies of themselves on the way to a vacation. They'll say they're going out of town and they'll take a selfie and they'll post up on social media. So now everybody, including bad guys, know that this person will be out of town for a certain amount of time. Now their house could be possibly invaded, you know?
Now, would you agree that most of us, we know how to put antivirus on our computer?
Yes.
But we don't think about our phone, which is, the phone now these days is like computer, have everything.
Yes, absolutely. Your phone absolutely does. And when you're getting text messages as well. So that's the new scam that hackers are doing. They'll send you a text message. They'll say, hey, check out this new product, click here, and you'll see a text message coming in. Oh, wow, it's just, let me click on this advertising. It's the same thing as clicking on an email that you don't know about. And
that's how they hack your phone.
Yes, they hack your phone. And how they get your phone number? Well, there's software programs that can randomly create your phone number, your area code, and your phone number automatically generates it and sends out a text message. And if you answer someone you don't know, I wouldn't answer it.
Yeah, so unless you have them on the list or it's coming from where you're expecting.
Correct. There are apps that you can put on your phones to protect you from scammers. You should look into those type of apps based on your iOS operating system or your Android phone. And you find these type of apps and it will protect you from these type of scams. And it's their job, the apps that you have, to alert you of these different types of fake phone numbers.
Let's stop and think about this. Now, to protect yourself, there is software. But now there is another thing, another step you could take to recognize people who's trying to scam you. So there is 2 steps we need to do, not one?
Well, it's actually one step. It's basically using an app that you could use to check your voicemails. So when, like on my phone, I use an app that if I don't answer my phone, it goes to voicemail. But this voicemail app actually scans the phone number that's calling me and see if that number is a part of a database of scam numbers, right? And if it is, it blocks them and makes sure that that number doesn't come across.
Okay, so what is the name of that?
There are several ones. I use one called Umail, but there's lots of them out there that you can use.
Well, if you use it, I'm sure it's good. That's for sure. So I'm using what you're using, okay? You know, you did your homework and you're you know everything about the stuff. Definitely using that. They should pay you for that.
We're talking to them about it. Talking about being an affiliate.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of fun with my group. We have a lot of fun with the hackers that try to do that because we're hackers ourselves. So when they try to hack us, it's kind of interesting to.
So it's a
hack
play.
back at
It's like game.
It is.
To some people.
It is. Some people. And the really weird part about the hackers too, they're not all adversaries, right? They're not all from Russia, China, or some foreign government. Sometimes they're your next door neighbor or someone just that has just a little bit of knowledge. And that person is more dangerous than Russia.
Oh.
Because they have a little bit of knowledge, not knowing what they're doing. They can send you something on your phone and mess it up for everybody, not knowing what's going on.
So let's talk about hackers a little bit. Isn't
Sure.
it sometimes they even do it just to prove they are good hackers? So companies will hire them to be anti-hackers?
That's true.
They do it just
True. The
just
analogy
to have
that
a credit. Like I can hack this
credentials,
company,
yes.
and now you could hire me to protect you from that.
Absolutely. The analogy that I use is I ask the question, why do people climb Mount Everest? Because it's there, right?
Yeah.
Same with hackers. Why are you hacking a computer? Oh, because I can.
Yeah, because
They want to try to
Yeah.
see. And those are the ones who don't know what they're doing are the most dangerous because they can really mess up the systems.
And the one who knows how to hack very good, they got hired.
Right. Yes. Yes. Some of the best hackers that we have in law enforcement are hackers that were prosecuted and now working for the government and letting the government know what's going on
and
Yes.
how they can hack, how easy can hack.
Yes,
they
and
can
it is
hack.
very, very easy. Very, very easy. Especially when you get those phone calls. I was speaking to someone earlier today about the Amazon phone calls. You guys may have gotten one of those, right? You get a phone call from Amazon stating that you made a purchase of $900. Please call this number to verify. And a lot of people who don't know, they'll think that that's Amazon's customer service. But it's not. It's actually a group of hackers in a boiler room trying to get your information. And what they'll do is they sound very convincing, and they want you to log onto the computer and go to a website where they can have access to your machine.
Wow.
But what they'll do is, Aimmee, they will send you this link that looks like it's from Amazon. And when you click on it, your screen on your monitor says Amazon. So you
And
feel
just
that you think
it
it's
is
Amazon.
You trust it. That's
You're
what
trusting
happened.
it. Yes, it's Amazon. And then they're at the same time they're going behind your back, so to speak, and looking at all your files on your hard drive, looking for anything that's important like tax returns, any type of information they could sell to other hackers in the darknet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How vulnerable we are.
Very, very, because it's a robber that you cannot see. It's a pickpocket that you cannot see.
Well, you know, Mac, I was almost going to be victim of this. And I am very alert on what I click on and what I do. I'm like super, super alert. But I almost get tricked. And if I can get tricked, as much as I watch everything, anyone can get tricked because I watch everything. It's like if you get tricked. So what happened is they send me a text message from NV, okay, and they said your electricity is gonna shut off this afternoon, and I called my husband. I'm like, you did take care of that, didn't you? Yeah, I did. I did take care of it. And then clicked on me. Well, they take it automatically, and we watch the stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is somebody tried to hack me to say your electricity is gonna, shut down. They scare you on things that you don't think about, and it seems like it is coming from them.
Right.
It's very, very, very tricky. And at that time, I was so busy, so I didn't even question it, but I didn't click on it. At least I didn't.
Good.
Yeah, at least I didn't click on it. So what I'm saying is how vulnerable we are. As much as we watch, we're still very vulnerable. So no matter, the more protections we have, the better it is. I mean, we can't keep up to a point like it's very hard.
Very true. And what you're doing right now, letting the public know about how to protect themselves, is one of our best defenses. It's awareness, letting people know. You're right, there are lots of different scams that are going on. And what scammers are doing also, Aimmee, is that they are hacking into collection agencies, right? Like medical collection agencies. And when they hack into them, they'll sell that database to other hackers in the darknet which in turn will call patients and saying, hey, you owe money on your doctor's bill. You can pay now. We'll take your debit card right away by taking care of this. So then the patient's like, oh, well, I got to take care of this. So they'll end up paying it to the bad guy. And then 2 months later, the doctor will call them up going, where's our payment?
Yeah, and that's really scary.
Yeah, and people not knowing. So it's always verify. It's like what Ronald Reagan once said back in the day, trust but verify. Right?
Yeah.
Trust but verify. Have them, if they call you and say that you owe money, tell them to send you an invoice.
Yeah.
And if they can't send you an invoice of a
Then
verifying bill,
obviously,
you know it's a
right.
fake one and it's
Right.
not really true.
Yeah.
But they'll push you, especially they push you saying, well, you owe us right now, we can take the payment right now with your debit card, just give it to us. And here's another scam. A lot of them will have part of your debit card. Right? So now when they call you and say, well, we already know, Mrs. Johnson, that your debit card ending in 1234, why don't you just authorize this or approve this payment? Because they've scammed you into a database that had partial information of your records, right? So now they're continuing the actual process.
So how that happen when they have the last 4 digits of your credit card?
Or social security number, sure.
Okay, or social security number. But how, you still have to give them the rest of the numbers.
Correct. And they're trying to convince you,
That they
coerce
know.
you of getting it. Because it's
So
like a
you
jigsaw.
used this one last time. Do you
Correct.
want to use it again?
Correct. Either that
So
or they
now
have
you
part of
trust
it.
them that you had this one. Do you want to continue using it, or you have a different card?
Correct.
Now they get you that way.
They're like, meaning your profile in the world of hacking is like a jigsaw puzzle. And hackers sell that puzzle of your personal information to other hackers, other bad guys on the internet, right? But they have pieces. They may not have everything. They may have part of your social security number, part of your maiden name, maybe a little bit about your birth date, just a little bit about you,
And
right?
this is how you trust them.
Right, and that's how they gain your trust. And when they call you on the phone, they're trying to show they're authentic by telling you some of the data that they do have about you. So then you'll fill in the rest. So all you're doing is filling in the puzzle for them. You're coloring in the spaces. So then they'll have a profile match, which they'll turn around and sell back to another bad guy
Wow.
about you.
So besides just having protection, you need to be alert, because even if you have protection, somebody might get in somehow.
Yes,
So
they
it's
still
not,
make
and
it.
don't rely, basically you're saying don't rely just having protection and you think, like you have a house alarm.
Right.
Well, still somebody could come in anyway,
Correct.
right? It just might scare them, and
Correct.
It protects you, but still you need to watch. You need to have
Absolutely.
something to protect you.
That's a good analogy, Amy. Think of your house alarm, right? Your house alarm is great. You can have all these great house alarms, but if you have a window that's opened,
Yeah.
but you have a sign that says ADT, but that window in the back is still open, they will still get into your data.
Yeah,
Get
or
into your
they
house.
can even break it by the time the police comes, or something is too
Absolutely.
late.
It's too late.
Right? If they want to take a risk. Wow.
Yes.
So we're not just dealing with the virus that can kill us. We're dealing with virus can take our life away. You're saving your information and dealing with that, just dealing to fix it and protect your,
Correct.
to regain your credit report.
Yes.
That's a whole other.
Absolutely. That's a whole nother game there. You
Yeah.
really should have legal advice as well. And we recommend that with our companies, have legal advice, because a lot of these hackers, they will really try to mess up your credit. And I get questions from people that ask me, well, Mack, my credit is bad. I've been through a divorce and I have bad credit. Why would a hacker want my information? And I tell them that you're the perfect candidate with bad credit why a hacker would want you. Because you guys know what would happen if when your credit is really good, what do? You always check it, right? When your credit is bad, you don't check it anymore because your credit is bad. You don't want to see that
You're like,
500
why should I
score.
care?
Right. But what the hackers are doing now, they will get your information and they will get a debit card in your name and your social security number, and they'll buy something like a Netflix account and they'll pay on it every 3 months, right? And what happens when you're paying on your credit? Your points go up, right? So now your points go up, you're not checking it because you think you have bad credit. The hackers are checking your credit, and when it gets to a certain level, they'll make a major purchase on something and then walk away from it, like buying a house or getting utilities or buying a phone or something. And then you're stuck with the bill.
I mean, there is some people, they fake that they are doctors, for God's sake. I'm sure they could fake your personal information.
Yeah, especially electronic signatures that are out now. That's
Yeah.
another scary thing that everybody in the industry is looking into. Electronic signatures. Hackers can scam and hack into companies that have electronic signatures, they can then take your electronic signatures and put it in other documents.
Oh my goodness.
And now your house could be up for issues too. We've seen all kinds of things like
so
that.
How about if somebody sends you in the mail, and they put the logo of something,
Yeah.
Amazon, and then they send you email, we understand, electronically,
Right.
and text message, we understand, but they do some mailing, and then you think this is the company.
Right.
So what can we do about that?
Same thing. If you look at a piece of mail that looks legitimate, and sometimes they'll have a phone number on it too, so don't trust the phone number on that.
Yeah, no, let's call the number so we can verify.
Right, so verify, don't call the number on that letter. Use your own resources,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Verify it from your own resources. Check with people that you know to verify the company is good. Because there's a huge big thing right now, Aimmee, that's going on called ransomware. Ransomware, folks. And what ransomware is, it sounds just like the name entitles, where your information is hijacked, where a hacker will hack into your phone, your laptop, and they'll freeze it, meaning that you can't get into it unless you pay them money. They hold it hostage.
Yeah, I heard about that. Some hospital or something, they had to pay
Several.
the money in order to release it.
Yes, and
release the information.
And there have been patients that have died because of it, because the doctors could not get into the patient's medical records
Wow.
to help the patients because the machines were held hostage. And it gets even creepier than that. You can hire hackers to go after people in the hospital. So if you know someone that's on an IV pump or on an insulin machine, you'll say, yeah, they're in this hospital, you pay the hackers, they will hack into the hospital and control that device and could probably damage that patient. So this is
That's a jaw dropper.
when I heard this from the FBI, I couldn't believe it myself, but people are actually doing that. So the hospitals and lots of other businesses around the world, they are definitely tightening up their security measures on all their machines to counteract this type of crime.
Wow.
It's absolutely incredible what people are doing.
You always talk about even your children, right? They could hack your children before they get older.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about that.
That is one of the best ways for hackers to get money. Because think about it, in the United States, when a child is born, they're issued 2 pieces of ID, right? Birth certificate and social security number, right? So hackers can get those documents, fraudulently create loan documents from it. And now you have kids that have credit at 3 and 4 years old. So the best thing to do is to check your credit score of your child. I have clients that actually checks their 3-year-old, and one lady called me and said that a bank, national bank, called them and said, hey, we're trying to get a hold of your son Sean to offer him a new rate on his Mercedes.
Wow.
And she says, well, unless it's a Mercedes stroller, he's not old enough to drive yet. Well, he had this car for the last 3 years and paying on it on time.
Wow.
And it was not him at all. And where did it come from? So let's think about where was his data hacked from? OBGYN office, the doctor's office, when the mom had the child. They had an employee that worked there that wasn't properly vetted, and they were convinced that if they steal some records from the doctor's office, they could sell them on the darknet and make more money than they can being an employee. So that's how they were convinced to do it.
Wow. I mean, literally, we can talk so much about the subject, and every time they find different way. You think you're protected, then they end up finding different ways.
Yeah, it's a cat and mouse game, right?
Yeah,
All
right.
the time. Yeah, always trying to find other ways to do it.
Yeah.
But we have to be aware, like you're doing now, Aimmee. This is great, letting people know what's happening, so we can create new laws and regulations to protect our data, protect our interests without losing our freedoms. Because technology is great for us in a society, but these bad guys are creating things where we can, it's taking away from us, making us more fearful of it.
And it's basically we're prisoners in a way that every time we have to be careful, and if we're not careful when we're buying something or you're entering your 4-digit code on your debit card.
Debit card, absolutely.
You know all the stuff that is, you feel like you have to really watch after yourself.
You do.
Life is becoming easier because we have technology and easy things to to have access to. But then when somebody hacks you, can ruin your whole life.
Absolutely, could definitely.
For years.
For years, yep. definitely can create lots of problems if you don't have
Yeah.
the right equipment to protect yourself. And it come after all of us. I get hacked all the time, and people try to get information, or they'll try to mess up my website because I'm trying to get information out to people. So they'll try to hack it, sending me fake texts, fake emails, and it's crazy.
Even hacking your website, yeah.
Yeah, especially that hacking your website too.
We try as much as my team, they work on that to protect the website, because they can go in and put their own stuff on your website. And then it will be like shocking, what is this on the website? Is something different than representing you.
True.
So it's very important to protect. So we have to protect everything.
Everything. And they're getting brazen.
Basically.
They'll actually come, we've seen situations where hackers will have a fake badge saying that they're from Cox Cable. And they're going to your office and saying that, hey, there's an internet outage in the area, and we need to check your router and make sure that you're secure. So can you show us your computer room?
Wow.
So your front desk person is not properly trained. They'll say, yeah, let me show you. It's right here in the back. And then they're basically
Easy
walking a
access.
hacker back there, and it takes them 2 seconds to put a USB drive in your machine.
Wow, to
and
get all
your
the
data.
information they need.
Exactly. Trust but
Wow.
verify.
Yeah, exactly. What a life to live. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really better than people lived 100 years ago. They didn't have access to anything.
But they did it
it's
back
coming
then.
with price. Nothing is free, right?
True, but they did it back then 100 years ago too. There was people that lived in villages that didn't have locks on their doors or to barns, and thieves would steal their cattle. But then a guy came in town by the name of Glock, and it kind of slowed that down a little bit, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we need to do the same thing when it comes to IT and security.
Yeah.
Have that same type of Glock thing to protect
So they
us.
were there, but now they're growing.
Yes.
Like
Much
they're
more.
educated more.
Yes.
Not only the technology is growing, they grew with it.
They grew with it.
basically. And probably they're having more fun. They don't have to knock on your door.
Oh, exactly.
They don't have to do anything.
Exactly.
Easy access.
Easy access.
If you don't protect yourself, it's easy.
That's true, and it's
So,
about awareness. What we're doing right now, it's monumental for the world to know.
To know.
And you hear about this kind of stuff.
One-
And tell a friend.
Tell a friend
Tell
about
a friend.
it.
That's what we always say. From what you learned today,
Protect-
tell somebody else.
Protect your kids.
Yes,
Tell
absolutely.
your friend. Protect yourself. Don't
Yes.
underestimate what they can do. Not just the computer. They can do it on your phone, which is
Yes.
we don't think about.
That's
we
right.
buy antivirus to the computer.
True. And you're right, Amy. If we have a couple of minutes, kids, real quick, you're absolutely right. During the pandemics, parents have their kids at home and they're studying at home. That's been just a treasure trove for hackers, having kids at home online studying and having access to the internet, right? So now you're getting, even with the Clark County School District, it got hacked several times, with hackers breaking into training classes, doing Zoom videos meetings with kids. You have to train your kids to be very careful. And one of the biggest things you can do is your router at home, you have a 2-band router, right? It has 2 points of access. You have one for their home and you have one for your guests. Do not have the kids connected to your main router where you have your Alexa, your Siri, all of your electronics connected to. And if your kids have that same access to the internet, where all those devices are connected to, the hackers could get
So
to
can
that
you
as well.
have two
Yes.
different
Yeah,
ones?
it's called dual band routers.
Okay.
And your network people, it's real simple. They'll be able to help you to set that up. It's a dual band router. In other words, it's like 2 doors, right? Your
So there's
kids,
protection. Not if you break the first one, you're not going to be able to break the second
right,
one.
right. And you
Makes
don't
it
give the
harder.
kids access to the second one. That's
And,
what it
isn't
means.
it they will give up on something it's hard? They're like, okay, let me get the easy.
Some will.
Yeah.
But remember, hacking is not.
It's fun for them.
It's not an incident. It's a campaign. They'll sit and wait 2 years, sometimes 3 years,
Wow.
because they know that person has information that's worth thousands of dollars. They'll wait.
So they wait to watch what you're doing.
They'll wait
and
for a
have-
mistake. And once you make that mistake, bang. Oh, they only have to get it right once. We have
Yeah.
to be right every time.
So we have to be alert 24 hours.
True, and that's why there's good apps.
So we can't really sleep on it and not taking care of it, be protected.
But that's another thing too. What they want us to be terrorized. So that's a form of terrorism, right?
This
It's where
is
you
a-
get protected.
This is great. We're going to talk about this on the second segment. And it's going to be another amazing segment. There's
Appreciate
more to
that.
learn here.
Absolutely, anytime.
Okay, well, we appreciate watching this segment. Make sure you watch the second segment because we are going to talk about some things that is going to blow your mind. So I'll see you on the next segment.
If you would like to be part of the studio audience or would like to be involved, please visit EmpoweringHumanityTV.com. Sponsored by The Negotiator Mind, shifts your perspective on life. Red Valley Media Group, EasyWay.tv, and the Women's Federation for World Peace at WFWP.us.